Hello, nerds for Yang.
Hello, nerds.
Hello, nerds. Hello, nerds.
Hello, nerds. Hello, nerds.
Hello, nerds.
Hello, nerds.
Hello, nerds for Yang.
Nerd for Yang, YangGang. All right. Alyssa Monet Mason is in the house. Welcome to the show, Alyssa.
Thank you for having me, Tom.
I am so excited to have this conversation. Actually, my son was saying to me earlier that my channel is not super diverse. And he's like, "Oh, all you do is talk to white people."
So I said, "Oh, so funny."
Brandon's very aware of the importance of diversity and inclusion. So I'm super excited to have you on the show because a lot of people also recommended you. They were saying, "Oh, you got to talk to Alyssa." And then, of course, I heard and learned a little bit about your commitment to the movement, if you will. And so before we get kind of into the details, maybe you could just give people a little bit of background about who you are and, your before Yang kind of story.
Yes. Okay, so technically I was born in Philadelphia, but my parents moved from Philly to Delaware when I was 3 years old. So don't remember much from Philly. So I say I grew up in Delaware. And then I grew up there. Basically, just like typical, like I grew up in like an all-white neighborhood, so that's why I have like the accent that I do, and I act kind of like Valley girl, but I have a little bit of both, And it's kind of tough sometimes because obviously, like being Black in like an all-white neighborhood is kind of like difficult. However, not only that, but I'm just kind of like a weird person in general. I'm kind of like a nerd, and I'm kind of like just like kind of weird. But so I really planned on, going, middle school, high school, and then college. I really wanted to go to like an Ivy League school because like I said, like I like to learn. I'm really passionate about education, but I really have an affinity for art as well. Ever since I grew up, I love to draw. I love to like perform in theater and stuff like that. Love music. So I guess I kind of like pushed that to the side and more so focused on my education. But when I was in high school, I was in the drama club, and that really opened my eyes because I had way more fun like performing and like learning lines and dancing and stuff more than like doing homework and all that bullshit. so I was like, oh man, like do I really want to go to college and like kind of waste my time, or do I want to like go like with the entertainment side? And then like in high school, I also got involved in like the K-pop community, which is like a whole nother thing. Like I'm learning Korean, all that stuff, because I got so attached to that. So really, oh my God, dude. Senior year of high school was super tough because I was just struggling between like, okay, what do I want to do with my life, really? A lot of pressure. Like this is why like I love Yang, because he does see like how a lot of young people have this kind of like pressure to like, to do certain things, but like are not really encouraged to go with their passions, It's not like a secure like future. So really, I just took 1 semester of community college just to see, okay, I'm gonna go to community college in my area. It's pretty like well-known adult tech, pretty good school. And after that semester, I was like, okay, like I'm done with this. I can't do it anymore. Like I was really going crazy because I was doing good with the classes, but I was just so miserable. Like I just did not like it at all. So I really put my effort into YouTube. So I've always like delved into like reaction videos and like talking K-pop. And then I actually got into ASMR, which if you guys don't know what that is, it's like, yeah, you probably know. It's like,
I've heard of it.
I know, right? It like sounds like a sexual thing at first, but it kind of really isn't. It's just like something that helps people sleep and relax, like kind of like the white noise. Like some people like to hear the rain fall when they fall asleep, and I like made a second channel with like me brushing them, like my microphone and all this stuff, and that worked out we're just working out pretty good. So yeah, luckily, like I stayed with my mom in Delaware, so and she was like, okay, even though like you're not gonna go to college anymore, just like at least have a job. So I did work at a or I'm about to quit, or I actually did quit, but cashier job at Hallmark, the car store.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fine at first, but then again, like doing cashier work is kind of boring, and it's like not much to do. So I was there for like 2 years. It's like my 2 years, and I was like, okay, like I have to like just focus on my art. And I know I'll get into Yang and how I got into Yang, but that's like the basics. Like grew up in Delaware, wanted to like go through college and kind of see like kind of struggling between art and education, and now I'm like really into just the art part of my life.
So do you still do the ASMR stuff, or?
Sometimes like people get kind of mad at me because I'm not like updating, but I used to do it like every day, dude. Like
really? Did the channel did it develop an audience?
Yeah, right now it has about 500 subscribers, and a lot of people like comment a lot, and they really, really like it, and they're like, "Oh, this is my favorite channel" and stuff. I'm like, I started because I love listening to it so much. I was like, you know what, I can do this better than most people, so let me just try it out.
I wonder if there could ever be like some Yang themed ASMR.
I did some actually, dude.
Did you really?
I did actually.
That's funny.
Actually, that channel was the first video that I talked about Yang, because I have like a main channel, as you can see, like with 1,000 subscribers. But I went to, but I knew that like the ASMR was the more active channel, so I was like, let me just talk about Yang real quick, and hopefully some people would like just to see what
some fusion between the YangGang and ASMR. I bet there aren't any YangGang ASMR channels at the moment.
I do not think so.
All right, so it sounds to me like you're kind of in the early part of your journey, and you're kind of finding out like where you're where your kind of your next steps are, and you're discovering your interests. You're kind of exploring different directions. This is very typical of a person that's a few years out of high school. How did you and Yang intersect? How did that happen?
I love this. So I'm always on YouTube all the time. I've loved to watch podcasts, especially Joe Rogan's. Actually, I've watched Joe Rogan for 3 years now, among others. So anytime like a clip of his, like YouTube recommends me a clip of him, I'm like, okay, let me check it out. And the particular clip that I saw Yang on was probably the most popular one. It was him talking about free college and kind of saying, hey, Bernie's plan may not be the best plan. I was like, interested in that, because I was, in 2015/16, I did vote for Bernie in the primaries. And I wasn't nearly as involved, never donated to Bernie at all. But I just, I liked people on YouTube that liked him. So that's why I voted for Bernie, really. And, I thought he was cool. So I was like, oh,
a lot of people like Bernie.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Yeah.
There's a lot to like about him.
Yeah, he's, in a lot of sense, he's a pioneer, really, for this new progressive age. But so I'm a very like critical, skeptical person. So when I saw that this video was kind of like putting him on criticism, I was like, okay, let me check it out. I'm interested. So I wasn't even like really thinking about the primary season at all. Like I didn't know anybody that was running except for Elizabeth Warren and Biden. That was it. So when I saw that clip and Yang talking about, mainly over prescribing college to kids, I'm like, thank you, because as I explained to you, I was really struggling.
You lived it.
Dude. And I was like, oh my God, somebody gets it. Thank you. So that really interested me. And he didn't even attack Bernie, which I was kind of like waiting for, but like he didn't do it. So I was like, okay, let me look at the rest of the episode. So when I did that, like I honestly was like, wait, he's running for president? Like when he said it a couple of times during the episode, I was like, no, he can't be serious. Like, he seems too cool. Like it didn't really click for me. But But when like he kept talking to me like halfway through, and I noticed like the little pin on his chest, like the white, the Y, the symbol. I was like, oh no, dude, he's serious. Like he has the pin, like, he has like the logo and everything. I'm a visual.
Nobody in the world wears a pin unless they're running for president.
Exactly. I was like, oh wow, this is official. Like he's serious. So now I was like even more interested. And really, when he started talking about self-driving cars, like I was even more like, oh wow, because I knew that self-driving cars were coming up, especially in Arizona and stuff. And I saw an article saying that a lot of people were mad at the cars because they're like, I don't know why, but I knew that was like a thing in Arizona because obviously it doesn't snow there, and as you know, like self-driving cars or trucks have trouble with snow. So when Yang brought up that and the truck driving industry, it was all kind of clicking for me slowly. And then of course the retail industry, and like obviously in Delaware, we have kiosks and McDonald's and all that stuff. And I was like, oh man, like it's really happening. I didn't really think that like automation was taking over as fast as it was, but when he explained it, I was like, yeah, he's right. So then what really attracted me to Yang was that how smart he was, but then he was also compassionate as well. And when he talked about, the struggling white community, really, when it comes to like truckers and how like a lot of males are going to be like, like just displaced, and have already been displaced in the manufacturing industry, I was like, whoa, like he's, because I get really tired of like these SJWs and like kind of like the third wave feminism, like saying that all like men, especially white men, are like bad and like they don't deserve a chance or whatever. It's kind of like really negative, and I never liked that. So I thought it was refreshing that somebody was like, oh no, like I'm not saying like this is like real, like these people are having a tough time. This is why Trump won, and to that part of the reason why, the main reason why Trump won, because a lot of people feel like nobody was paying attention to their problems, especially men and white men. So yeah, I was like, dude, man, like he gets it. Like I was just completely shocked. But obviously, you guys know that interview was just like the best. So yeah. I don't even need to explain.
How long did it take? How long did it take? Was it like while you were watching that you were like, okay, I'm backing this guy, or would it take a few days, or how did that unfold?
Yes. So after I finished that episode, I was like 60% on board. I was like, okay, let me look at some more like long form interviews, because I just like that in general. And luckily there were, quite a few out there. And after like third like interview I saw with him, and I saw his like sense of humor shine, and I just saw how how consistent he was with his facts and his message, I was like, okay, this is it. Like it really took me like that night, like that after that evening, like I was there just a day really. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna donate. It was the first political campaign I ever considered donating for, and I actually did. And I was so proud because I was like, dude. And that was like March, I think. Yeah, early March.
Yeah, you almost wonder if we took that Rogan interview and paid to put it on like prime time. And like how many people would get converted, because I meet very few people who've watched that interview and don't end up supporting him. Like the conversion rate is probably like 90%. It's crazy. But it takes a lot. Like not everybody wants to sit through, in this day and age, a long form interview. Like that's not kind of cool for a lot of people.
For a lot of people,
it's a little nerdy.
Like again, I love education. Even though I didn't like college, I did like learning. That's why I was on like YouTube all the time for entertainment purposes, and I did like to learn. So it just worked out for me that I just like everything about him.
Yeah, well, he's the king of YouTube. That's for darn sure. It's amazing how much content there is, and I guess part of it is he's willing to sit for these long form interviews. And Biden and Warren are kind of protected by their handlers, and they don't really expose themselves to a lot of questions.
Yeah, I couldn't even like get through like Sanders' interview. I mean, I got through like 20 minutes of it, but then I was bored. I was like, okay, I can't do this anymore. It was like good, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah. Well, so now you make gang content as well, and I saw on a video you did recently that you said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this full time."
Yeah.
So share a little bit about what's going on there.
Yes. So really, I've been thinking about quitting my job for a while now because I just did not like it. I knew it wasn't for me. So, and then because I've been traveling a lot, like I actually did go to Detroit with a couple of other Yang gangsters, and we like had a little road trip from like Atlanta to like Detroit. So we like went through a lot of cities like Nashville, Kansas City, went through Ohio, Iowa, and met a lot of like gangsters there. And I was just like so invigorated by like meeting people and traveling and being very active in that sense. And then in Detroit, I actually did meet Andrew because we got into the fundraising event and everything. So after then, I was like, when I came back home to Delaware, I was so depressed. I was like, oh my God, dude, like I want that to be my life. So luckily, one of the people that I went on this road trip with, like he was like, yeah, like I travel like for a living. So you want to go to Houston? I was like, yep, let's go to Houston. Let's do it. So like I went to Houston in September, and that was amazing. And now I'm going to Ohio. And luckily, like I have just enough money to like buy my plane tickets and buy whatever. And then we just take care of like the living arrangements together. So I was like, you know what? I think I can do this full time. And especially because to my core, I'm an artist. I love to do a lot of things. Right now, you probably guys saw that I did some dancing for K-pop. So that's my main thing right now, is to really put all my eggs in that basket, because I've been doing that for a while, actually. It's not the first time that I've been dancing, but it was the first time that I used that Yang banner. So shout out to PJ McCartney, like he designed that, like, and I was like, dude, I have to use that for something. So yeah, I want to combine both worlds. I like to, because I know that a lot of people, or there's a lot of like Yang content creators that are just covering like the news and live streams. So I want to do something a little bit different. I know that was kind of like oversaturated right now. So that was my goal, to really do that. And I think, and already I do have some Patreon, so shout out to you guys, love you. And I think I can do like a whole crowdfunding thing. You know, it's gonna be hard, but I think I have the talent and just the energy to do it.
So let me back up for a second. When you did this road trip, what did your mom say?
Oh yeah, my mom. Okay, so like I talked to her like,
because if I were her, I would be like, whoa. Some random people, you're gonna drive across the country and they call themselves a gang? What the hell is this?
I know. Well, she's really understanding.
Did you tell her?
Oh no, I did tell her. Yeah, I told her. She knows that like I really like Yang anyways. Yeah, the gang part is like kind of like, I was like, is she okay with me calling us the Yang Gang? But at this point, like she's been through so much with me, like just like all like the drama like in like high school of me like figuring out if I want to go to college or not. I think kind of desensitized my parents a lot, because they're like, okay, like I guess she knows what's best to do, what she wants to do. They are like nervous, like sometimes I you know, because they're my parents. They're parents. I get it. But she actually did let me go. She was like, yeah, okay, let's go.
And how well did you know the people that were on it, like in the vehicle? And I mean, that's a lot of time with people.
I know. It's so funny. I didn't know them prior. Really, there were two guys too. One of the guys, he saw one of my videos on YouTube. He just DM'd me on Twitter. He was like, hey, like I saw your video, I think you're cool. Here's like my Instagram. I am a professional like photographer and everything. I'm a real person. And me and this other guy are gonna go on this road trip for Yang. And for me, like at that point, it was like July, right? Or June, we started figuring this out. At that point, I was like, you know what? I trust them because they're Yang Gang. It's like, it sounds so cultish, but like I really, every time I see or like talk to anybody that likes Yang, I just think they're family, honestly. I just didn't have any doubt in my mind. And if something were to happen, I know that like I'm a strong person. I think I can handle myself. So I don't know. I always had that like travel bug too. I love to explore and go to places. So
well, I'm glad it all worked out. And so now you're moving, right? You're moving from
Yeah.
Biden country to the land of Nevada. Is that right?
Yeah, shout out to Michael Kim. He's the person that's in charge of the Yang for Us, those little stickers, the black stickers. And I just heard through the grapevine that he was doing this project, and I was like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty cool. Let's do it.
What is the project? How does this work?
Yes. So right now Michael lives in LA, and he's like, you know what? I want to like dedicate my time to just volunteering for Yang. So how about I just set up a base in Las Vegas, because Nevada is the third state that votes in the primaries, and I think that be a good investment, because not a lot of candidates go specifically there to campaign. It's mainly just Iowa, New Hampshire, and then South Carolina. They do go to Nevada. I think Yang's actually in Nevada right now. But yeah, he wants to go there, and he wants to crowdfund it. So right now we actually do have a GoFundMe. I call it the Vegas Village because I thought it was cool. It's called a village for the YangGang, and we do have a couple other people that want to come as well. So I think that's how we're gonna do is by crowdfunding. I asked him, I was like, "Do you want to get like a side job to like help with the payment?" He's like, "Nah, I'm gonna do it full time." I'm like, "Okay, like if you want to do it full time, let's do it. I'm ready for it. Like I'm gonna hustle my butt off to get donors and stuff."
So it's completely funded by the crowd, like the rent and everything.
Yeah, we're trying. Right now we don't have a lot, but right now we're gonna try to do a crowdfunding situation. And it's gonna be a house. We're gonna rent a house with approximately like 5 to 7 people there.
All right. This is I never miss a segue to show you a chart. Hold on, let me show you a chart.
Oh yeah, go for it. I have to add, because I forgot to say this, but even though I did vote for Bernie in the primaries, after he didn't get it, I was so pissed off that I voted for Trump, because I was like, you know what, like,
whoa, hold up, let me take the chart away. Wait. You gotta repeat yourself. I thought you said let's just say what you just said again.
So I did vote for Bernie. I did vote for Bernie in the primaries. I'm a registered Democrat. But after he didn't get the primary vote, I was so pissed off, I voted for Trump.
Oh, it was a vote of anger.
That, and like I said before, like I'm a very like, I don't know if I'm anti like culture, but like I don't like it. I'm very like a free person. So I didn't like how like the Democratic like left side was like being very like, again, I hate to say this, but like very ultra SJW, like PC culture. I hated that. So I was like, you know what? Like, I feel like Trump would be like the antithesis to that. And then like, I really felt like something was not being addressed in our system, in our politics. I just had that feeling. I couldn't pinpoint what it was. Now that I'm with Yang, I know what it is, but I really couldn't pinpoint what was the problem. I feel like we needed more of a change, because even after Obama, I didn't feel like our country was doing any really better. I mean, yeah, our economy was better, but people were, I didn't think that our society and our mental health was getting better or anything like that. So I was like, at least Trump is a change. And like, if things get so bad, then I guess we deserve it, because we just suck right now, I feel like. So
yeah. So let me play that back. So you were supporting Bernie, and then I was a Bernie supporter back in that election as well in 15. And I'm guessing you felt that he got kind of the raw end of the deal. Like it wasn't a fair process.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then part of you was like, probably a little bit like, hey, this whole party is kind of corrupt or rigged or whatever. And then you saw this other guy who was definitely not part of the normal mold. And you're like, hey, let's shake it up. So how do you think he's done? Trump?
Oh, I think it's pretty terrible. Really. I mean, like, I don't think he's an idiot. Like, I love to watch Scott Garabay's video. I know he's been on this channel.
Yeah.
And I love how he explains it. He's like, dude, like, if you're calling Trump an idiot, like, you still don't even know, like, he he knows how to like get people's attention, and then I'm sure he has a really good team to back to like strategize how to do certain things. But I think that he definitely doesn't help what I wanted. Like, he definitely doesn't help like people, and like he definitely like increases the divide. You know, the political divide. So I don't like that, and and you can say like, is the economy better or not? Like, obviously, there's like, yes, it is, but like then again, like it's not. I just think like I don't want him as our president next term. But I mean, like if Yang doesn't get it or able for
so if Yang doesn't get the nomination,
I'm one of those that's like, you know what? Depending on how it goes down, I may just vote for Trump again. Because like we learned our lesson. I'm sorry, like I can't do it.
You know, you're not the only one. There's a lot of people that feel that way, and so I respect that. Actually, we'll take questions in a minute, but this one I just caught my eye. You know, Steve,
yeah, sorry.
Steve, maybe he pronounces it Steve. I don't know. He's saying, why do you think the Bernie supporters continue supporting Bernie?
Okay, so basically, people feel like, kind of like I do, he was definitely wronged, and they want to avenge him, you know? And I think that's what it is, really. They just like, you know what, he deserves the spot because it got taken away from him. That's why I think the main motivation is. I don't think that people really, if you ask like a Bernie supporter, like, okay, like break down like his policies and like how do you think he can implement it and like how would it benefit us in the future? I don't think they can explain it as well as people that support Andrew Yang. I really don't. So I think that's why it's more of like an emotional.
Like loyalty and kind of like a rematch.
Yeah,
they want their shot at the ring. I get it. That makes sense. All right, let's look at. So I wanted to show you a chart. So,
yeah, I know, right?
So you were talking about you're moving to Nevada.
Yes, sir.
And here we have how we're doing in Nevada. The last poll actually was quite recent, the 26th of September. And it looks like we need you in Nevada because
I like it.
We're ahead of, oh my God, we're behind Steyer. I think Steyer is probably, you could probably see him on TV a lot, old Steyer, right?
Oh my God, dude.
Head of Booker. Wow, O'Rourke's really struggling. Castro looks like he's struggling.
I just wish sorry.
No, go ahead.
I just wish like Beto would just like quit. I feel like he's getting sick. Like, I don't know. Like, I think that he's like really not doing well physically. I think it's just draining him being in this race. I just wish he would quit because of that, but whatever.
Oh, you think Beto's like literally like losing energy?
Yeah, I think he's losing steam a lot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, his stance on gun control, I think seemed like it gave him a shot of adrenaline, but I think he's fundamentally still not a very strong candidate. So it seems like a matter of time before he goes. But then you've got freaking Steyer, man. I mean, that shows you the power of money. Right, because he's buying TV ads, and I don't think Yang is. Maybe we'll start doing it because it looks like we're gonna have more money this quarter. But
I don't know. He said like in the LA rally, he said that we're not going to use our money in conventional ways. I mean, he may buy some ads, but I don't know. Like, I think he's going to do something else.
Yeah, well, he's a smart guy, so I'm sure he'll do stuff that works for him. What do you plan on doing when you're out there in Nevada? I mean, there's a lot of distractions.
Yeah, I know, right? I won't like.
I feel like I need to have a conversation with your parents later.
No, I mean, go for it, you know. But right now, I think we're gonna do a lot of canvassing. One that I do want to do like dancing still. That's like my main thing, really, is dancing. And then we'll probably do some vlogs. I don't know. Like, I'm not like, even though I'm kind of crazy, as you guys can see, I'm kind of cuckoo. But I actually have no interest in drinking or like gambling or anything like that. Like, I'm 21. I turned 21 like last month, and I have not taken a sip of alcohol. I'm just not. I'm very like in my own world type person. So I love that. I've never been to Las Vegas before. I know, like, you know, it's like a party like city, but I think that having that contrast between that party life and like YangGang, I think that's going to be a cool contrast. So that's what I'm really focusing on, is kind of canvassing, maybe vlogging with the guys, and then doing my dancing.
Oh, that sounds great. I mean, I think I've heard that Nevada presents an interesting opportunity for Yang, partly because there's actually a decent sized Asian American community there, because a lot of the casino workers are Asian American. And then to your point, I don't know if the other candidates are spending as much time in Nevada. So maybe you guys will be kind of like our secret weapon out there.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me show you some other charts, and then we'll take questions. All right. Here is the national polling.
Okay.
And, you know, I hate to say it, but I kind of feel like that Emerson poll, you know, it just is not representative of what there was a scenario where the Emerson poll was like the tip of the spear. And now it's like, oh, they either they are the only ones that are getting it right, or more likely that he's still in the 3 to 2 to 4 range. And you know, I think it's a wake up call for all of us to, you know, not just rest on our laurels, right? Like, this is going to be a come from behind victory.
Yes, I actually like that about this campaign. I like that we're not like too comfortable. A lot of like Bernie Sanders supporters are comfortable right now. I think they just think that they can just take it because of his name recognition and everything. Yeah. So I think that's why we could probably pass Bernie in the upcoming months. I think here's the thing, like oh my God, it's so difficult because a lot of people are still not familiar with this primary season. I really do think that a lot of people are just checked out, really. And the people that are checked in, I feel like are just a lot of more on the older side and more like, I think that will, you know, already, these polls are really crazy. Like I think they're still mainly landlines, correct? Like mainly. So that's just a red flag for me. And the fact that like Yang does do pretty well on online polls. I mean,
oh, he crushes the informal polls. That is for sure. The YangGang descends on those polls like a whole herd. But I think what you're saying is, because we're so strong with younger people, and younger people are probably maybe underrepresented in these traditional polls, that you're saying that when we see a 3 or a 4, that's masking the real support.
It's not even close. I really do think that if you really took like everybody, Democrats, Independent, Republicans, if you polled everybody, or you know, fairly in a good, these polls they're like under like 1,000 people, right? Like, I don't know. It's just kind of sketchy, but I think we're in double digits for sure. If you really took a step back and think, I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. But you know, I respect it, you know, for now, whatever. I get that a lot of younger people are not as politically engaged. They're not trying to like go out and register if they aren't registered already. And but I'm not really concerned, because I know it's going to pick up a lot in November, because November is like, you know, starts the holiday season. Yeah. I think like that's going to, like, if all the families are together, and if hopefully like the younger crowd, and there's a lot of older like YangGang as well. But hopefully like a lot of these like kids. Yeah,
that happened with Obama. Like a lot of kids convinced their parents to go for Obama back in 2008. So
I think that's when it's going to really ramp up, and you know, it's going to.
Well, here's some data to support your argument, which is the betting markets. So
oh my God, he passed Bernie. Holy shit.
Yeah, so this chart would argue that he has a better chance, according to gamblers, of getting the nomination than Bernie, Buttigieg, Harris. It's always strange to see Hillary in there. Could you imagine a case where she got the nomination?
Dude, I really want to kill myself right now. Like, if she pops in here, that would throw a wrench in. I'm very confident that Yang will win. But if she comes in here, it's just gonna be a mess. Oh
you know what's funny? Like I am not a huge fan of Trump in the least.
Yeah.
But if Hillary somehow snagged that nomination, I would probably, I don't know, I'd probably stay home. I would probably stay home. I'd be like, what are you doing to yourselves? Like, this is ridiculous. So the good news, if you buy your argument, is that the gamblers know something that the pollsters don't. Here's another chart, which is cable news stories. You know how we love the media.
Yeah.
Here is the media. Who are they covering? The week of 9/22 and 9/17. On the left-hand side, you have cable news, and then right-hand side, you have online stories. So Biden is capturing almost like 80% of the mentions online and 74% cable TV. And Yang, it's almost hard to find him. Oh, here he is.
Yeah, I know. I was like dragging my mouth.
0.7, less than 1% of cable TV mentions, and only 2.8% of online stories. And it's actually trending down.
Interesting.
So if anybody is wondering whether they should contribute to Yang or not, that's a little friendly PSA for you all, that the freaking mainstream media is not going to help us out. Oh, and but if you use the Nerds for Yang link at tinyurl.com/NFY20, you can give to the Yang 2020 campaign and help us get him back on this show. But that's it for my pitch to everybody. But yeah, what are your thoughts on the mainstream media? Do you think it's like, well, who cares? Nobody watches cable TV anymore, or what are your thoughts?
It's so interesting because I think it is important. Oh man, like it's close to 50-50 for me. Because I'm just personally, like my grandmother, it's so funny because like I tell my parents about Yang and they're like, they're not really, again, like they haven't watched any of the debates because there's too many people. So they don't know that much really. So that's why I'm like, okay, I think people are going to really start ramping up in November. But my parents are like, about Yang. But my grandmother, she actually kind of likes him a lot. And, you know, she's Black, she's elderly, which is not like the demographic that we have, you know.
No, she might be the only person that meets that demographic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, she doesn't like Harris. She doesn't really care about Biden. So I'm like, huh. And she actually has a friend that likes Yang too. So I'm like, okay. So she does watch his cable news, but it's the passive side. She is on like Facebook all the time and stuff. And I don't know, I think that she sees through a lot of the BS as well, but she still is used to having the TV on. So, I mean, it isn't, oh my God. I think this election season is going to be like the make it or break it for like the mainstream media, because they have a choice to really support our like future president, and they're not taking that like opportunity. So when Yang gets the nominee, people are gonna see them as like, oh, you guys are like
irrelevant.
Yeah, I really do think so. Right now, people are still trying to give them a chance, just subconsciously, because we just grew up. Most of us grew up watching TV, and we just grew up, you know, kind of brainwashed to thinking that these talking heads are like know what they're doing. But man, like, man, I think that the youth can really come out and shock people, because I think that, again, like the older crowd will probably listen to like their younger like niece or their younger like their grandchild more than like some news anchor on like.
So I'm curious about your grandmother, because she's a really interesting case study on how it can be done. Like we can win votes from older people, females, and African American. Like actually, your grandmother is the hardest demographic for the YangGang, because we suck with older people, we suck with Black people, and we suck with women. And she matches all three. Like what is it that? What was the formula?
I don't even like. I talked.
Was it you?
It's funny. Personally, it was me. Like when I first talked to her about Yang, she actually, in like March or something like that, she did see Yang, I guess, on one like MSNBC interview. I guess he had one like eventually, well, maybe in like April. And she said that he she liked him because she thought that he was really like intelligent and just a good guy. So I guess she just had that sense of like, oh, I like his personality. And maybe she thought that, okay, even we haven't talked a lot about like the UBI and stuff, but my intuition is that like because she likes him as a person, that she trusts him and his policies, and that's why like again she doesn't like Harris because she kind of thinks she's a snake, and she doesn't like Biden because she like gaps a lot and like he has his head in the game. So I think she's a rare case of like she's not totally like kind of brainwashed into like the establishment, you know, candidates. I think she just knows. It's kind of weird. But
your grandmother's awesome.
I mean, yeah, like I was and she's a Christian too. And I'm not saying that all Christians are like, you know, I'm an atheist, so I just like, okay, I think that a lot of like religious people probably would be more skeptical of Yang because he's not, I don't know, like he curses a lot and like he's very like outside of the box and stuff. But I don't know, like I think that me talking to her did help a little bit because she trusts me and everything.
That's awesome. No, it sounds like she got a sense of who he is as a person and like his character and integrity and intelligence. And she's not really keying in on any of the 150 policies, but she's going for the leader, which makes sense. Yeah. And unfortunately, but at the same time, had she not seen the MSNBC video or had she not seen him on TV, it might have been much harder. So that's why when the media is not giving him access, like we're kind of like a chicken and egg problem there. All right, let me go to another chart and then we'll take questions. And then I think we'll wrap. But let's do another chart and some questions first. Okay, here's a chart. So this is a little bit depressing, but you got to keep it real, you know? And so this is basically an analysis of whoever was leading in the polls at this time of year in previous cycles.
I love this. And
whether they ended up getting the nomination. And so you see this time of year, 2016, Hillary was leading and she did get the nomination. This time of year, Trump was leading. So there's a narrative like, oh, but Trump was like in 10th place forever. And then at the last minute he pulled up. But no, he actually started pulling away now. However, on the other side of the coin, if you look at 12 and 2008, you see Rick Perry, Hillary, and Giuliani were leading in the polls. And they obviously didn't get the nomination. So I guess I would interpret this as like there's good news and bad news here, and that clearly like the leader doesn't always get the nomination, but it's not always the case that the leader doesn't get the nomination either.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Because
I mean, I think the most interesting thing here is that second row that Trump was leading in September of 2015. Yeah, I had this impression that it was this like slugfest, but maybe I mean I guess Jeb started fading away early. You know?
Freaking please clap Jeb. I love it.
But you know, the thing about Jeb was like I think he was a decent person. Like,
you think?
No, you don't think so? You're suspicious.
I mean, he was just bland toast, whatever.
Yeah. But maybe your grandmother would have been okay with him. I don't know. We'll
Perhaps.
see. All right. And lastly, here's the last chart before we do Q&A from the audience.
Yeah, I see a lot of questions. So
yeah, I know. We got 118 concurrents. So you're attracting quite a crowd. So latest polls in early states. So yeah, this is not bad. Look at South Carolina. What the hell?
Yeah. Okay. So when I did phone banking and when we did South Carolina, like most people were like, I don't want to talk about politics, but then I got like a Biden supporter. Like she's like, yeah, I'm for Biden, right? So I was like, okay, I had the sense that like, yeah, South Carolina is going to be pretty freaking hard to beat because I guess that like a lot of people, maybe because like, it's a very like high Black population there, and like a lot of Black people like Biden because he was vice president for Obama. That's the only thing I can think of. That I feel like a lot of Black people are just kind of like doing their own thing. They're like trying to make their ends meet and like they're trying to hustle. So when they just pass by on, or when they just see like the TV and they're like, okay, Biden's winning, then they just think that, okay, Biden's the person.
Yeah. They're not leaning in yet.
Yeah, they're just not leaning in. And yeah, it sucks, but that's what
I kind of respect the loyalty to, I mean, I was a huge Obama supporter, so I kind of respect the loyalty to the team. But on the other hand, hopefully as people get to know Andrew better, they'll start thinking about him as a candidate and as a potential alternative. All right, let's jump into questions because we got a lot, and I will start. I'll try to get to as many of them as we can.
Yeah.
Who is your hero and why?
Yeah, I saw this and I love it. And my hero is for sure Gary Vaynerchuk. You know who he is, Tom?
No, the name sounds familiar, but I think I should, but I don't know him.
Let's educate him, okay? So Gary Vaynerchuk is a businessman, entrepreneur in New York City, right? He actually is an immigrant from Belarus, like in Soviet Union, but his family got lucky and they transport Jewish too. He was like one of the few families that got transported there to America, and he kind of had like the typical immigrant story. Like his mom was a stay-at-home mom, and his dad like had his own like liquor store, and he kind of built that up from the ground up. He worked constantly, but Gary is like, oh my god, he reminds me of Yang a lot. I wish so much that Andrew Yang and Gary Vee can meet, because they're so much alike but they're so opposite too. Gary has like that very kind of like, he seems like a snake oil salesman kind of, like, aggressive, very like talks very fast, very like kind of like aggressive, but he has so much compassion for people, and he knew like where the wind was blowing when it comes to like marketing. Like he's one of the first people that like blog Google AdWords, and he was one of the first people that made like a YouTube channel based on his dad's like liquor wine company and all this stuff, right? And now like he like vlogs his life every day, and he has like this whole media team, and his company VaynerMedia is a marketing machine. This is what he does best, is to help other people market his stuff. Yeah, there he is. So
that's the man.
I remember, yeah, dude. I remember just like,
he's your guy.
When I found him out in my senior year of high school, he really like opened my eyes to kind of, honestly, he was kind of the first person that got me thinking about automation, because he's so in the tech world. He knew that like, oh yeah, like the robots will destroy us, and not like in like the typical movie sense, but he kind of knew that like, yeah, like if he has a lot of confidence in human beings, but he said that if the world was going to end, it's because of robots. And I didn't really understand what he meant until recently. I'm like, oh yeah, because automation is going to take over. Like human beings are not really going to be needed for anything. So obviously we're trying to help that with the Andrew Yang campaign. But if we're on this track of just like, letting all the stuff take us over, then yeah, we're going to not be looking too good. But just outside of that, I just think he's a cool guy. I just love him on an entertainment level and just the educational level. He's like, he curses a lot. I just love how he just doesn't give a fuck about anything or anybody, but he's also really compassionate. I just recommend you check him out.
All right. I will definitely. Yeah. He seems like an interesting dude.
Very interesting.
All right. Now, Alyssa, we only have about 12 minutes left, so we're going to need to go for the shorter answers.
Okay, no problem.
No problem. As a senior, I see many senior moments in my friends and a couple of candidates. Why isn't a candidate's age a concern to younger folks?
It's a concern for me, but I guess he's probably referencing Bernie Sanders. And again, it's that emotional thing. People really love Bernie, and they're like, okay, even though he's on the older, like very, very old, I'm going to go for him anyways. I think that's what it is. So it's a concern for me, but
I think it's for Bernie, it's loyalty. For Biden, I think people are afraid to say it, but I think they think it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. What's the next?
And they pulled the like experience cards, like, oh, he's experienced. It's like, okay, like whatever.
Yeah. Well, but if you go by that book, then Trump is super experienced too, I guess.
Yep.
I'm scrolling through these questions here. I feel so bad. I told you. Oh, ideal VP.
Oh, okay. Oh, honestly, if it was in like my own little world, I would love Marianne Williamson. I know people love Tulsi, but I just personally just love how crazy like the org gang is, and I just think that'd be awesome. That's it.
Did you see the Saturday Night Live skit with Marianne Williamson when they were impersonating her?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, it's so good. It's so good. If we have a minute, hold on. What the hell? Let's see if I can pull it up because it's so funny.
Okay, yeah, good. You do that, and I answer another question really fast. I saw Mike. He asked, "Can you explain why you like the American Exchange Program?"
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, so Andrew has talked about this more so in the past than now, but he would like either older high school students or / younger college students to get an opportunity to travel into another part of the country, and just like be around like other people and just kind of like get a feel of like different cultures and stuff like that, basically. And I love that because again, I love to travel, and that's kind of what I want to do. Like, in high school, I can only imagine like if I could just like escape Delaware and like go to like California. I have gone to California, but like actually go there and to like kind of see what the people are like and see what the the culture is like. That would definitely lessen the tension that we have with one another and like this kind of like cultural and political divide, because we would be more empathetic if we actually saw a person that was not like us and around the country. And yeah,
got it. All right, well, I found the Marianne Williamson thing, so hold on, let me put it on for us.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
All right, hold on.
Right, am I saying that correctly?
Sure.
Oh no! All right, after
and appearing
Buttigieg
tonight live via astral projection is Marianne Williamson. Konnichiwa, girlfriend.
Oh my god!
Here's how I will impeach.
Oh shit!
It's okay.
I will trap his soul inside this crystal, which I should warn you is also a yoni egg. So this election, vote for magic. Good morning.
Oh my god. That's pretty good, not gonna lie.
So she's your pick for what do you think of Stacey Abramson in Georgia?
I don't know who that is.
Oh hell no!
I'm sorry. Is this a political what? I'm so confused.
Oh, that's okay. No. So she ran. She ran for.
That's familiar though.
Yeah, she ran for Senate or governor in Georgia. Let me share.
That was very familiar.
Yeah, Stacey Abramson and Stacey Abrams. Sorry, Stacey Abrams. She ran for. She served in the Georgia House of Representatives. She graduated from Yale Law, and she is off. She almost got the Georgia governor's race, but lost to Brian Kemp. She was the first Black female major party gubernatorial nominee in the history of the country. And a lot of people think she is kind of like the VP in waiting for whoever gets the nomination. And I personally think that it would be fantastic for Yang, like that combination to reach sort of like you got Asian man, African American woman, like that would be super cool. But I also have seen her speak, and I find that she's super smart and very sharp. In fact, like even more interesting than many of the other candidates running for president. So keep an eye. I will look into your boy Gary.
and I'll look at Stacey.
You look into Stacey. All right.
Yes. Deal.
So let me see if there are any other questions before we wrap up.
It's like, who's Alyssa? I'm like, I know I'm not that big. I'm not as big as like Pageant Kagi, but
well, now they know. Now they know who you are. And I would summarize by saying you are a dedicated YangGang supporter who creates a lot of great content, and are now going to be full-time, and you're going to be part of an experiment, which is you're going to go to the Vegas Village and be a full-time YangGang volunteer in a crucial state for us. So thank you for making that move. And how can people follow you and get to know you better, Alyssa?
Yeah, I mean, I do have a YouTube channel. It's my full name, Alyssa Monet Mason. You'll see it pop up, that like purple M in the white background. And I'm on everything really, but I'm more active on other than YouTube, Twitter. You know, as again, you can type in my full name, but the tag is like Alyssa Nerdiful. So I wanted to combine nerd and beautiful together. So
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see if I can find. Oh, yeah. I just accidentally typed in Alyssa Money. I wonder if that's some kind of like
subliminal.
I know. It's like, why am I doing that?
It's a T's right next to the Y, so I guess it's
yeah, that must be it. Alyssa Monet Mason.
Yeah.
There you are.
Yeah.
You're here, right?
Where
should I hit that? Should I smash that button?
Oh my God, I would love it. I mean,
hell yeah. There you go.
Oh, man.
And then let's see what else here. Let's see some of your. So yeah, you're this is the dance, because you were dancing to like K-pop. I remember I saw that. I was like, whoa, that's an interesting combination. Yeah.
Yes, you guys, oh my God, I'm a sucker. I want to visit South Korea so freaking bad. You have no idea. Yeah. I mean,
wow, you were sharing some heavy stuff, it looks like, as well.
Yeah, girl. Like my bank screwed me over really bad, but it got fixed. But yeah, it was like a chain of like weird hacking that was going on. So not just like a couple people got hit pretty hard, and I was so over it. Listen, I know that a lot of people struggle with like mental health and anxiety and depression. So if I tend to like keep that in, but like when it gets too much, I'm like, you know what, let me just share it, because I feel like a lot of people like social media can get very stagey and very like TV-esque really fast. So I feel like, you know, we just share like our personal lives, even just like a little bit. That just shows us that we're still a human, and we still like have our faults, and we still struggle. So I think having that mix is just important, I think.
Yeah, and I think that speaks to Yang's kind of balanced scorecard, where we measure the country's wellness by not just GDP and unemployment, right? And look at mental health. Yeah. Totally.
I love it.
Well, thank you so much, Alyssa, for coming on the show. I've been excited about this because your name has come up multiple times where people have like, hey, how come you don't have Alyssa on the show? I was like, who is this Alyssa? I got to look her up. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So now that we've got you on, we'll have to get you on again. Maybe get a report from the field in Nevada at the grand opening of the Vegas Village.
Oh my God, I can't wait, you guys. Yeah, and like, hey guys, we do have a GoFundMe. So if I would love for you guys to contribute to that if you can. I know a lot. I love the YangGang because we are helping out so many people. Like, I know everybody can't contribute to everything, but that is an option if you guys are really interested in the Vegas Village there.
Awesome. So it's on GoFundMe right now? Yeah,
it's on GoFundMe. Under like my videos, you'll see the links to it if you guys check out that. And yeah, I'll direct you if you just want to DM me on Twitter or something. But yeah.
All right. Well, I can't wait to seeing more of your content, and let's make some history together, huh, Alyssa? Let's get this guy in the White House.
Dude, the inauguration party is going to be so lit. Like,
oh my God. YouTube, we're going to break YouTube.
Are you going to come to America, dude? Like, I really want to.
That's right. Well, I do go back every few months for work. And then we're planning on relocating as a family to California, probably next summer. So yeah, I'll be back stateside for good, hopefully in time for our new president. I'm a little worried that if I move back and our man Trump is reelected, I don't know if I'm going to be able to deal with that. I may have to get a return ticket and hang out in Switzerland for another few years if Andrew Yang doesn't get elected. But I'm sure I won't have to worry about that, because I think we're going to be seeing we're going to be seeing the Mr. Andrew changing the world and hopefully making America a place where we can be proud of and think of the future and take care of each other again, you know, and come together, which would be fantastic.
Indeed.
All right, Alyssa, you keep it real.
Thank you so much, Tom. Bye, nerds.
Goodbye, nerds. See you. All right. That was awesome.